Good afternoon, you're welcome to the Gallery TV News at noon. I'm Eleje Chidima, and here are the reports. Eld-El-Fitr, Buhari, Lawan, Atiku, governors, Tinubu, others beg Nigerians to pray against insecurity. President Muhammad Buhari, President of the Senate, Senator Ahmad Lawan, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, National Leader of All Progressive Congress APC Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, state governors, among others, yesterday congratulated Nigerian Muslims on the completion of this year's Ramadan fast, pleading with them to pray against the security challenges facing the country. Specifically, President Buhari asked Nigerians to pray against kidnapping, banditry, and blackmail. According to a statement by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Shehu, Buhari, in his Eld-El-Fitr message entitled "On the Occasion of Eid," called for unity and solidarity, saying, "On this blessed occasion, I wish that the Eid festival brings with it peace, safety, security, brotherhood, and long among others. Unity and solidarity among all citizens. Muslims and Christians are imperative, especially at a time when our country is faced with multiple challenges, which are surmountable only when we come together as one." Nigerian electricity grid collapses. Nigeria's electricity grid has suffered a system collapse. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, announced on Wednesday. TCN General Manager, Public Affairs Ndidi Mba, explained in a statement that the system collapse led to the power outrage witnessed in various parts of the country. She, however, noted that the company was already making effort to fully restore electricity on the grid. The Transmission Company of Nigeria hereby stated that about 11:01 a.m. 12th of May 2021, there was a total system collapse of the grid as a result of voltage collapse at some parts of the grid. TCN commenced grid recovery immediately after the collapse from Shiroro Generating Station to Kampe, TC, Abuja through the Shiroro Kampe line at 11:29 a.m. and also through Delta Generating Station to Benin Transmission Substation, and has reached Osogbo and parts of Lagos, the TCN spokesperson said. She added, while the grid restoration and power restoration gradually progressed to other parts of the country, the cause of voltage collapse that precipitated the failure is equally being investigated. Mba appealed to customers in the country to be patient with the TCN in its bid to ensure full restoration of the grid and power supply to the remaining parts of the country. Still on the news, Khan declares 3 days prayer against killing, banditry, others. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has declared 3 days of prayers against insecurity and other problems in the land. CAN National General Secretary Daramola Joseph announced this in a circular date May 11, 2021, an address to the leadership of the Christian body at various levels. He explained that the leadership of the association considered the prayer important for God's mercy and intervention in continued killings, banditry, terrorism, and other problems facing the country, noting that the prayers were scheduled to hold between May 28th and 30th. Joseph hints that all local churches were directed to gather in the evening of each day. He asked them to pray to God in an attitude of soberness for the bloodshed of many innocent Nigerians. The CAN listed some of the suggested prayer points to include seeking forgiveness for sins committed by the church or Nigerians, especially their leaders. Another important point were a prayer for the speedy recovery of Nigeria from all its losses to make it a nation everyone in the world would love to be. On foreign news, Israel-Palestinian conflict escalates as rocket flies, street violence flares. Israel faced an escalating conflict on two fronts Thursday, scrambling to quell riots between Arabs and Jews on its own streets after days of exchanging deadly fire with Palestinian militants in Gaza. Despite diplomatic efforts to halt the violence, which U.S. President Joe Biden said he hoped could end sooner than later, hundreds of rockets tore through the skies over the Gaza Strip overnight. Israel's Civil Aviation Authority said it had diverted all incoming passengers' flights headed to Tel Aviv Ben Gurion Airport to Raman Airport in the south due to the rocket fire. Air raid warning went off across Israel, including in the country's north for the first time in years, which the army later said was a false alarm. Israel Air Force launched multiple strikes targeting what is described as location linked to the counterintelligence infrastructure of Hamas, the Islamist group that controls Gaza, as well as the house of Iyad Taib, one of the movement's commanders. In Gaza, 67 people have been killed so far, including 17 children, and nearly 400 wounded in a day of near ruthless Israeli airstrikes. On sports news, Gareth receiving Freddy's advice. Ranger manager Stephen Gerrard has revealed he had been receiving advice from Sir Alex Ferguson. Gerrard was named the Scottish Football Writers Association top manager following his title success with Rangers, their first top flight title since 2011. Ferguson, who grew up a Ranger fan and played for the club, this week spoke of how impressed he had been by Gerrard's performance as manager. "Oh, he done magnificent," Ferguson told The Guardian. "He really has, both on and off the field. A press interview can lose your job in management, but Stephen's press conferences are fantastic. He's cool, he's composed, he gave the right answers. He's really tough because it is an art." Former Liverpool captain Gerrard responded by saying he was humbled to receive such praise from an iconic figure. And that's all we can take on the Gallery TV News at noon. Do join us at 4 for more updates. I'm Eleje Chidima. Thanks for watching.
In life, you can never be too sure who to trust. This is the story of Mrs. Ungazi. Mrs. Ungazi just wants to use the ATM.
Good afternoon, Mama. Let me help you out with your withdrawal. You don't need to stress yourself.
Thank you, but I can handle it myself.
The man is just being kind, right? He just wants to help, right? Wrong. All he needs is a good look at the pin. Will he succeed?
Oh, to my IG fans, I say, sorry.
Do not share your card pin with anyone. Keep your account information private and ensure no one is watching you while you enter your pin. UBA, Africa's global bank.